week probably. Okay, so what I did was I combined the logs, raised it from base 10. Now, this one is like number 52 on your worksheet. It's one of the hardest. The others are not this hard. You would multiply that out, distribute it. X squared minus 3x equals 10. What do you do when you see that polynomial? Like if it has an x squared like that?
Reverse full.
Yeah, so it's reverse full or factoring it, but I need it to all be over here together, right? Yes, so you set it equal to 0. It's like finding the roots. So that's minus 10 equals 0. All right? I just move my 10 to the left. Now I can factor that. What goes at the front? X and X. At least it's not granny glasses, right? And then I'm going to find factors of negative 10. Negative 5 and 2. They multiply to negative 10 and they add to negative 3. So it's negative 5 and 2. Thank you. So what are my two answers? 5 and negative 2. There you go. X equals 5 and X equals negative 2. Those could be my two answers. So again, that's as hard as it gets on that. With some factoring. Let's look at, I'll do 45 and you can do 44. Okay, so here's number 45.
Wait.
Yep, okay, I'll wait a second.
What's this called?
This is solving logarithmic equations.
Okay.
Or you could, like solving log equations. Yeah, I'm going to do 45. You're going to do 44. So let me write down. They have log x minus log 4 equals negative 2. And so on this one, since I have subtraction, what goes with that? Division. So I'm just going to write it with one log. And I put x over 4 equals negative 2. Is everybody good so far? Now, to cancel out that log, I put base 10. So that would cancel, and then I have to put that to a base 10. So I get x over 4 equals, and what's 10 to the negative 2?
Negative 100.
Or it's point 10, right? Or no, point. Yeah, it would be 1 over 100. So what's 1 over 100?
0.01.
0.1 would be 1 out of 10. I think I said that, but it's 0.01. So 10 to the negative 2, it's 1 over 100. Or if you divide that, 1 over 100, and we get what? 0.01. Then what do I do to solve for x? I just have one number over there. It's being divided by 4, so what's the opposite? Multiply by 4. So x is 0.04.
Yeah, we're not really sure.
Did y'all understand how I combined it to get... This was on the quiz yesterday.
You're subtracting, so you're going to...
So you divide. Yeah. The exponent, it's like exponent rules. All right? So since you're subtracting, you can combine them by dividing those terms. To cancel out a log, you put the base 10. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So these cancel out, and I'm left with x over 4. 10 to the negative 2, if I type it in my calculator, or if I think about my exponent laws, it's 1 over 100, or 0.01. And then to finish solving, I multiply by 4. And that's my answer. Let me do, let's see, I'll do number 46. And y'all can do 48. Did y'all write this one down, though? That way y'all have all these. I can give y'all points. So y'all are going to do 44. This is 45, so make sure you write down 45.
We're doing 44. I have the answer down on there.
Or, yeah, just write your steps. I'm going to do 46, so you're going to write this one down, too. Because I'm giving you credit for these. And then you're going to do 48.
We did 44, 48.
And then you're going to write my 45 and 46. But I'm going to go ahead and do 46.
Is 44 going to be a big number?
I can look it up and see what they have right quick. 44, yeah, like a 4-digit. Yeah.
Okay. make sure I did it right.
2 log x minus log 4 equals 2. What do you do with the exponent? I just told you. What do you do with the number out front? You make it the exponent. Oops. So I have log of x squared minus log of 4 equals 2. I just made that my exponent. Then what do I do to combine those two logs?
Divide.
Yeah, we're dividing. That's my rule. So I have x squared over 4. Then what do I do? To cancel out, got to cancel out your log, right? So you put base 10. That cancels out the log. And over here I have my base 10. 10 squared. What is 10 squared? 100.
So
There we
x
go.
squared over 4 is 110
Yep. Times 4. So x squared is 400.
And then square root.
And then you square root it. And what's x?
20.
20. There we go. So 46 is kind of like 48.
That's not bad.
And I'm trying to think if 48, it might have like a decimal, or let me see what they get for 48, just to give you a heads up on that one. For 48, or they got a square root, just like square root of a
So we're doing 44.
big number.
What numbers?
44,
44 and 48.
45, 46, 48. Those 4 numbers. But I did 45 and 46, so write those down. Let me pause this. All right, now we're moving on to 7-6. Y'all be quiet so I can record. We're looking at something called natural log. There's a button on your calculator, and if you look at it, it says LN. And if you notice, the LN and the e to the x are the same button. They're inverses. How convenient that your calculator always does that. It's 22. So natural log and e to the x are inverses. That means when we're solving an equation, we can get rid of a natural log by using the what? E. And vice versa. Get rid of an e by using a natural log. If you'll notice on your calculator, what about x squared and the square root? Aren't those inverse things? Yeah, see how convenient they've got these buttons. And look at the log button. What does it go with? A base 10, right? That's what we just did earlier. So, anyway, your calculator will give you hints on a test. So let's look at natural log. And like I said, it's the inverse for e to the x. We've already done e to the x. Do y'all remember that? Where you could we graphed it one day. We just plugged it in our calculator and found answers. Okay, so here's a picture. No, but they're just showing you that here's your two functions. This is e to the x, and this is the natural log. And you can tell that they're inverses. They're actually flipped. They're flipped over this line you can't see. So that's all they want you to know. Those are inverses. Now, here is our first problem. No graphing on any of this that I can see right now. They have 2 natural log of 15 minus the natural log of 75. All right, and they want us to write this as a single natural logarithm. LN, that's LN, natural log. I don't.
Well, that's weird.
It looks like an.
Wait,
Oh, it looks like IN. It's LN. It's natural logarithms.
2 and 15.
Now, what would you do with that 2 out front?
Move it. Exponent.
Exponent. These are still logarithms. It's natural logarithm. All right, so you just move your 2 to the exponent.
I-N.
So LN, natural log.
Oh.
And I'll write that. Is everybody good with that? Your number out front becomes your exponent, just like in the last 2 classes. Okay, then what would you do to combine these?
Put 15 squared over 75.
Yeah, remember with subtraction, what do we use? We use division. So the natural log, that's LN, 15 squared over 75. And you can figure out what is 15 squared divided by 75. That's all they want. They don't want an answer. They want just one natural log written down and whatever number. let's
got
see,
three.
they don't yet, but we
LN.
might.
I got 3.
Oops. So you would type in, no, just do 15 squared. Yeah, that's right. And then divided by 75.
To be LN3.
0, 7,
15 squared, and then divide it by 75, and it's 3. So it's the natural log of
2. I typed the
Three.
LN button.
they don't want you to. In the directions and on your worksheet, it says write this as a single logarithm. So they want it to say ln3, natural log of 3.
Easy enough.
Okay, so let's do just a couple more, and then I'll let y'all start off the first lesson. It's the same thing over and over again, isn't
I
it?
freaking hate long.
It's not that bad, though. I don't think. It's just rules.
I like the stuff we did before this.
The natural log of 7 plus 2 natural log of 5. And again, it says write it as a single logarithm. This is a double. This is 2.
5 to the second.
That's right. So the natural log, and it's 7 times 5 squared. He knew it was multiplication because of the plus sign.
So would you just type in
The-
7 times 5 squared?
Or I'll just do 25 times 7 or 7 times 5 squared. And what do we get? The natural log
5.
of 175 is our answer.
Wait.
Okay?
That's just the answer.
That's just the
I
answer.
just found a new button on my calculator.
Let me do another one.
Wait, are y'all having to press that button?
Nope, we're not pressing the natural log button yet.
Okay.
Shh, boys in the back. Boys in the back. All right, I got another one. 3 natural log of x plus 2 natural log of y. Now we have some variables. Plus the natural log of 5. So your first thing, what are you going to do with all those numbers out front?
Exponent.
Yeah,
X to the third times.
x to the
Y
third.
second.
Y'all are going a little ahead of me. Yeah. I went ahead and wrote this extra step. You do not have to write that step. I just wrote those with exponents. That's ln, 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 in case you
What's
can't
L
tell.
and Y?
ln is natural log of y squared.
L.
No, it's LN.
Okay, now you can put these together. Listen, since we're adding, what do we do with all those terms?
Multiply.
So I would put 5x to the third y squared.
Is this 7, 6? Lesson 7?
This is 7, 6. It's the last one. Your number usually goes out front, and then I just leave them in alphabetical order. X, Y. Okay? It doesn't matter. I do prefer the number being out front, though, because you don't ever see, like, x to the third y squared 5. Right? You always put a number in the front. That's your answer. It's one natural log. Yes. So are y'all ready for the first little...
Yeah, but y'all go so fast.
Okay, confused on how I got what?
That answer. You just
Do you understand how I put the exponents here and here? When the number's out front, you write it as the exponent. So I brought everything else down. Now your rule, when you're adding and you want to combine all these, what do you do with everything? You multiply. That's the rule they learn. So I write my one natural log, which is what I was going for, and then I multiply these 3 things together. The 5, the x to the third, and the y squared. And as far as order goes, your number always goes out front. It always has, since Algebra 1. And then I just put those x, y, because that's alphabetical order. Okay, I'm going to pause the video. Well, here, let's see. How about y'all do the evens? So 2, 4, 6, and 8 on your worksheet.
we don't have a worksheet.
I'm about to give it to you. We have, this is where it gets a little different, okay? That's just like what we've been doing. So now we've got the natural log of x minus 3 squared equals 4. I see 2 ways to do this.
She told you can go whenever you
Okay, but I'll teach it the way that they have it. Yeah, if you finish your 4, you can. What is the opposite, or the inverse, I should say, of the natural log? The only way to get rid of this is the e. So it's basically like what you did yesterday with that base 10, but for a natural log, we go with a base what? A base e. E to the x. So those cancel out,
That's 4.
and that's e to the 4th. Okay, yeah, I said e to the x, but your x in this case is your 4. So if I write this down, x minus 3 squared, and I will tell you it could be a positive or a negative e to the
Can we just go
4.
ahead and do E4 and see what it
That's the
says?
answer?
No. Why do we not have x by itself? What else is over there? A square and a minus 3. So, how do you get rid of a square?
Square.
Square root it. So if you square root it, that becomes an x minus 3. And what's the square root of this 4? 2. That's plus or minus e squared. The way that I thought about it, your book doesn't do it this way, was I thought about in the beginning bringing that 2 down, and then I would just divide by 2. Does that, to me, this makes sense. So I would have x minus 3 equals 2, and then I would raise it, to the e or whatever. Anyway, that's what I think to do. But what am I going to do finally, the last step? Plus 3. So this is just 2 answers.
X equals
So
square plus 3.
x equals, I could have a positive or negative e squared.
So we're not finding E squared at all? Or right
We're
now?
about to do that now. So you could leave that as your answer, or it might ask you to get it on the calculator, and you can. So I can do e squared plus 3. So let me type that in. There's my e squared. Close those parentheses. Plus 3. So my first answer
It's where the ln is.
that I get, I'm looking at the wrong problem. It's 10.39.
Multiply the x squared.
It's 10.39 for that one. And then if I type in negative e squared, I'll show you in just a second. I get negative 4.39. There it is. I typed in negative e squared. The negative was way out here.
E squared in parentheses.
No, not on this one. Your negative sign's out here. You're squaring e, and then I add 3.
So I can write the
Uh-huh.
problem down.
Like right there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So E squared.
And I get negative 4.39.
Probably like these ones. So wait, can you show me your calculator?
Uh-huh.
Because that's when she
So
canceled.
you do E squared.
Plus 3. And you could have written the next one. Yeah, and then you can do negative e squared. Plus 3.
Oh, to the plus or minus, and you have to, yeah.
And then
Yeah, because you have your plus
So,
one
how would
and you have your minus
you
one.
would write it then just like x equals negative plus or minus.
Mm.
It needs it really, really bad. I need to watch my
So that's what I wrote. If they want, you could leave your answer like this possibly, or if they want like your decimal answers, there they are. Okay, let me do another one. The natural log of x equals 2. The natural log of x equals 2. So on this one, I'm just ready to get rid of the natural log. What gets rid of the natural log? If you forget, look at your calculator and it tells you. It's the same button. It's the e. So I would raise e squared. And remember, it's plus or negative e squared. So I want to type that in my calculator. That could be an answer, or you can get
answer for the last one.
negative 4.39. Negative 4.39. So I would type this in. I would just type in e squared.
Your answer would be a positive and a negative.
Yes.
7.39.
Yes, 7.39. And then, yeah, so you could write it like that. Your positive e squared and your negative e squared. And it's just on your calculator. Make sure you get those. Okay?
One in your book.
I'm doing a couple from out of the book. You want me to do one off your worksheet?
Yes.
Okay, pick one out for me to do off your worksheet.
Wait, are these the solve each equation?
Yeah, it's the second section. I think I can do those all. Let me see. I'm thinking, have I looked at all those? I haven't done any like 19 down. So y'all give me one that you want me to do from 10 to 18. Any of those from 10 to 18, which one do you want me to do?
Alright, that's on the part.
11? Okay. Number 11. So y'all are going to write this one down so you can get credit for it too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Can you do 11 and 14?
Yeah. All right, so here's my number 11. What would you move first?
Big goes 2.
The 2. Let's divide that 2 over. Does everybody see that? That way, I don't really want to put it as an exponent. I'm pretty sure that that'll work. Let me make sure.
Sorry.
I wonder if they would make us put it as an exponent. Let me see.
I bet so. Just because that's what we did.
That's what I'm thinking it's
I got
gonna.
3.5.
Yeah, I do get 3.5. Let me run through this real quick.
How much is it?
Equals plus or minus e squared. I did that wrong. Hold on.
Oh, test. It's due Tuesday. Next Tuesday. Oh, it's due Tuesday?
Yeah, we're doing
What?
less.
E to the 3.5. I get that.
Oh, until last night. Like, all day.
Let me see what I get. Hold on.
That's all I have.
Not the same answer. Look, this is what I did. Shh. I divided by 2. I think that is the easiest way. And I got my 3.5. Well, then I took e to that 3.5. Okay, and when I did that, I get a positive. Hold on, I wrote too much too fast. Let me rewrite this. I was just going through it real quick. I get 3x minus 4 equals the plus or the negative 3.5. Because I took this 2 and this 7, and I divided 7 by 2. I went ahead and I moved that 2, and that's where I got 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. Then, now that I have this natural log, I put e to both sides, and I have e to the 3.5. So I have 3x minus 4 equals the positive or the negative 3.5.
Oh, I got that so far.
How would I solve for x?
Mine
You have,
plus 4.
yeah, we would add 4. So I've got all this craziness. I'm going to add 4, and then what would I do to solve for
I didn't
x?
do it like that.
We'll see how you do it. Hold on.
Divide by 3.
Divide by 3.
Jeez.
And then you would type both of those answers in your calculator. Here's the deal. We get 2 answers because there's a what? A positive and a negative. But then what does it tell us to do on the worksheet? It says, check your answer. So we're going to go back and plug it in. Up here, we can plug it in on our calculator.
Can you put
And-
your calculator up there and do it so I can see how you put it in?
Yeah, this right here, I'll do my positive one first. I'm going to take e
3.5.
to the 3.5,
Close parentheses.
close parentheses. Then I add 4.
I didn't do it.
I always press enter real quick, and then I divide by 3. And it gives me
I didn't do
12.37.
it like that.
Oh.
I did, like, after I got the plus or minus e to the 3.5,
Yeah?
I did the e to the 3.5, and then I just added 4 to that number I got.
And then press divided by 3? Yeah, that's fine. Huh?
So we have to.
Yeah, so now if I do my negative, oops, I forgot to put the negative sign. Negative e to the 3.5 plus 4 divided by 3 is only going to be one answer. I get negative 9,
I get negative 31.
I get negative 9.7.
negative 9.71.
Wait, I was wrong.
Now, how would you check? Since it tells me to check our answers on this one, I would just go back and plug it in. So I'm going to do 2 times, let me see if I can enter it in all at once, the natural log of 3 times 12.37.
So that you show it.
Yeah, I'm going to show y'all. Hold on.
So those are 2 answers, or just no?
And I get 7. Pretty much 7. Look, if I plugged in my 12.37, does everybody see that right here?
That's
2 times the natural log, I just plugged in what they had, of 3 times the number I got minus 4. If I plugged it in, what answer do I get right here?
7.
What answer do they have on that equation? 7. Let me try in the negative 9.71. Let me try to plug in that one. So again, I have 2 times,
So would it be x equals
The-
plus or minus 7?
No.
well, no. What I plugged in 12.37.
Oh, okay.
So
I
I'm
got error.
2 times the natural log of 3 times negative 9.71. And then what was next? Minus 4. And if I close my parentheses, I got error too. So what does that mean?
There,
It's probably not an answer. It didn't work out. So there we go.
don't work.
So that's how I know that that one's my answer. Let me do number 14. Yeah?
So we can't write both answers?
Nope, not on this. It says check your answers.
That makes it so much difficult.
Well, you're not going to have, like on your test, you would probably have like one of those. On your study guide, I might put 2.
Equals plus or minus 12.37.
No.
So x equals 12.37. No, I got these 2 answers. That was my positive, that was my negative. But the negative answer didn't work. So it's just the 12.37. Let me do number 14. 3 minus 4 times the natural log of 8x plus 1 equals 12. What would you do first? Let me get this natural log by itself. So what would you do? Not yet.
No, divide.
I would definitely subtract 3. That's right. Subtract 3. Does everybody understand that? Let me move my 3 and then let me divide this negative 4 in a second. So negative 4 natural log 8x plus 1. What's 12 minus 3? 9. All I did was I subtracted 3. Am I still recording? Yeah. Now what would you move? I don't really want that negative 4 as an exponent. It looks kind of yucky, right? So what could you do?
I think we'd be good.
Divide by negative 4. I think we could do it, but do we want to? So what is 9 divided by negative 4?
Negative 2.25.
Negative 2.25. Make sure you understand that before I go on. Then what would you do? Now we have a natural log by itself. E would cancel that out, so I must also put my E over here. So let me rewrite. 8x plus 1 is plus or minus E to the negative 2.25.
Nice one.
So, very good. Now we subtract 1.
Okay.
I'm lost.
Okay, where at? Do you understand to this point right here? You do? Do you understand why I took the E of both sides? Because that had the natural log. So those cancel out, and I brought that down. Then I had to take the E to this side. And remember, you always have to put the positive and the negative answer. Are you good with that? Now, I need to solve for x. What 2 numbers are over there with it? 1 and 8. So I will first subtract my 1 over here. So I get plus or minus E to that minus 1. Does that make sense?
I put this in my calculator.
And then what do I do?
Big
Divide by
decimal.
8.
Divide by 8.
Big decimal. So E.
And I'm going to get 2 answers. Plus or minus E to the negative 2.25 minus 1 over 8. Now, you're going to have to,
I got a decimal.
let me see what I get. I'm going to plug in my positive. Huh? Let me finish this one. A positive E to the negative 2.25 minus 1
8E or
divided by
is that 8?
8. There's no 8E. That's an 8.
That's an 8 from the.
And that's an 8. So I get for my first one, negative 0.1118. I'll just leave it to 4 decimal.
Let's go.
Now let me, it just was 111825096. I just went out.
That's not the number I got.
Let me try plugging in my negative E now. Try again. Plug negative E to the negative 2.25. Did you close your parentheses? All right, minus 1 divided by 8. And my second answer,
1, 3.
2, if I round it up. Okay, how do I figure out which ones work and which ones don't?
Plus or
I don't know. I was gonna write the other.
Huh? What, Luke?
I thought it was supposed to be positive or negative. That's what I'm thinking.
This one's a positive, this one was a
Their
negative.
answers are negative.
So when I tried the positive, it ended up giving me this answer. When I tried the negative, it ended up giving me this answer. That is my, as weird as it sounds, that was my positive E. That is my negative E. So now we have to do what?
Plug it in.
I just go back to the original equation to see if I get 12.
3 minus 4.
So yeah, 3 minus 4 times the natural log of 8 times negative 0.1118 plus 1. And I get 11.99.
Yeah.
That's right. So I know that's an answer. Now let me try my other one.
14.
3 minus 4 times the natural log of 8 times negative 0.1382 minus 1. And it tells me error, so I know it doesn't work. Here real quick is how I entered those in. 3 minus 4 natural log, 8 times that number I got, plus 1. I closed my parentheses and it gave me the right, it told me it was the right answer. Does that make sense?
So it's negative 0.1118.
Yes. Negative 0.1118. Let me see. What number was that one? 14? 14. They rounded. They just did to 2 decimal places. Does it tell us that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
It does. You only have to go to 2 decimal places. All right? It says that. Why don't y'all try? Y'all are going to try numbers.
No.
10.
Say numbers. Say number.
Number.
I did 11. 12.
Oh, no.
13.
That was just one problem.
And what time is it?
We're gonna have the rest of class to do these first.
Well, not these 3. We're almost done.
These are a piece of paper.
Try those 3. I'll leave y'all with those 3. You may. Yeah. So on these types of equations, we're going to use natural log. But first thing I need to do is get that E by itself. I need to move the 2 and then the 4. How would I move the 2?
Square root.
Subtract.
Subtract it. I'm going to subtract 2. Yeah, this 2. Sorry, this 2. Subtract 2.
Sounds like DB.
What's 16 minus 2? Did I write that down? Yeah, I did write that down right. 14. Then what do I do? Divide by 4. Let's get rid of this. So I have e to the 2x equals or 3.5. Either whatever you get for that. Decimals, it's all going towards decimals anyway. So you might as well just go ahead.
So then what you do, ln?
ln of both sides. I need to get that x, but it's in the exponent. So we've learned different ways. We've learned how we can use bases if they're the same. We've also learned how we can use logarithms, but that's not getting me anywhere. I need to use what is the inverse of this, which is the natural log. So if I take the natural log of that side to where I get 2x, what do I have to take of this side? The natural log. Remember what you do to one side, you have to do to the other.
Why do I keep doing that?
And then I have one step left, and it all goes in my calculator. What am I going to do to solve for x? Yes, and then you can put all that in your calculator. The natural log of 3.5 divided by 2. And do y'all know that's the same button you've been using, right? So the natural log of 3.5, close your parentheses, divided by 2. And I get 0.626 or 0.63. There we go. All right. To me, that one was a little bit easier than the other ones. Let me see. I gave my worksheet away. So let me find one real quick. Where? I've lost my book. Oh, there it is. 7-6. Okay, let me look at what number. Y'all are going to do 19 and 20 and 21. I'm about to do 22. Wait, these are all natural log. Y'all, what did I say about, let me look at 19. Wait, sorry. This is really weird. Natural log of e to the x equals 3. What happens when you have natural log and e next to each other? So what does x equal? 3. So that's number 19. I didn't realize that's what these were. Let's look at 20 together. Okay? The first thing, does that make sense, y'all? It was just kind of a trick question.
Yeah.
The natural
2x.
Wait, does
The
that
natural log and e just cancel out.
natural log and e cancel out.
3 to the 2x.
So this one, well, I'd be careful. I would just, 2 ways you can do this. You can go ahead and divide by that 3 if you want,
Yeah.
or you can leave it there. Do y'all want to just divide it? So I get,
X equals 4, and then
Yeah.
X would be 2.
so I would get 2x equals 4 and x equals 2. Otherwise, you would have had 3 times 2x, which was 6x equals 12. And what does x still equal? 2. I think this way looked easier, though,
So
just to move that
21,
3.
cancel out.
So that's weird. So look at 21.
X
Just
plus
solve that
5
one.
equals 17.
So what does x equal? 12. There you go. Then, yeah, I know we kind of went through those fast. Let me just do 22, and then we'll go down to the e to the x's.
20 is 2. Yeah.
Yeah, let me do, y'all do 22 with me.
Could you say these last 2 minutes just chill out?
No,
No, we've been working so much.
nope. Natural log of 3x plus the natural log of 2x equals 3. So how do you combine those?
12.37.
You're gonna multiply.
Multiply them. So I get the natural log of
3x times 2x.
6x squared equals 3. Then, what would I do?
E.
Yeah, you're going to do your e and your e here. So let me write that step. Y'all quit talking while I'm talking. 6x squared equals plus or minus e to the third. Then what?
Square root.
Well, we're going to square root right after I do one more thing, though.
Oh, I see it.
Divide by 6, and then we square root. And see what our answers are.
No thanks.
Okay, plug them in our calculator and let's see what the 2 answers are.
How
These
do you do
square.
plus or minus?
Just do one at a time.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just going to do e to the third
Okay.
divided by 6.
Okay.
1.8.
I get 1.83 for my first one. Now let me plug in my negative. This is how I typed it in. The square root of e to the third divided by 6. Now I'm going to do my negative.
Whoa, wrong button.
The square root of negative e to the third divided by 6. And so we know what's our answer for 22? 1.83.
Oh, are we done?
No, we're not done. We're never done. We've gotten to the e's at the bottom.
We have a watching movie.
Almost. There's not that many at the bottom. So,
Wait, go back.
That was fun.
what was funny? What was funny?
Nice.
1.83.
I'll just go back and listen on my video.
Can't
Yeah.
even hear it.
Oh, you can hear way more than you think.
Cap. So I can.
Wrong.
No, I've watched the
So I
video.
can say
You're
right,
always
so-
hearing sometimes Luke.
Okay, are we done? We're talking. All right, the next one then. I will look at, you'll do 28
I already forgot.
through, you're going to do 28 through 31. I'm going to do 32.
Wrong.
You do not have to write this one down. It's an example. E to the x minus 4 equals 2. No, just y'all are going through 31, but I'm doing some extra. How do I get rid of an e? How do I get rid of an e?
Natural log.
Natural log. So I get x minus 4 equals the natural log of
So
2.
we do ln.
Then what do I?
So you really just move the ln to the
Other side.
equal sign?
Yeah, and then what am I going to do to solve for x?
Plus 1.
So x equals the natural log of 2 plus 4. How would I find that answer? Plug it in my calculator,
Oh, yeah.
and that's it. You don't have to check answers. That's just like number 30. Let me do number 34 because it's like number 28.
Would it just be ln?
ln equals 15.
Ex, yeah. So you get x equals for mine the natural log of 1, which y'all, then you have to still get your answer. I didn't put the answers.
2.71.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
For which one? This one?
Number 28.
The natural log of 1 is 0. Oh, you're talking about for yours. I got mine x equals 0.
29, you divide by 4.
Let me find one like 29, if I can.
Wait, so 28 is 2.7?
2.71.
Whatever the natural log of 15
That's
was.
2.71.
2.7.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Man, me too.
Yeah, you would divide by 4 on number 29, and then you can take the natural log, okay?
So 4e x equals 10 divided by 4. What's that? 2.5. So e to the x equals 2.5. So
I got
ln 2.5.
And you get,
0.92.
Yep. that's correct.
0.92.
Yep.
That's number 29. Yeah.
That's 29.
What? OMG.
Does anyone want their study guide today?
No.
Stop.
Nope.
Don't talk to me.
Absolutely
It's
not.
30, 1.9.
I've got a weekend of partying before
Yeah,
I
chat
get
phone.
I believe, let me look. I think that was right, but let me check. 30,
James, you don't got
1.91. Yes.
No, no, that's gotta work.
What is it?
Gotta work at Clarence Grange.
What is number 30?
He gets the job done.